This episode of the Burnout Recovery Podcast is brought to you by Mayo, your medical indemnity partner. Whether you're starting out in your career or have decades of experience, Mayo helps you thrive with support that goes beyond insurance. Enjoy travel benefits like complimentary travel insurance and Qantas points on your membership, plus education, medico-legal support, access to career coaching and wellbeing resources. Visit mayo.com.au to learn more. Insurance issued by Medical Insurance Australia, which has not taken into account your objectives or situation. Before you make any decisions about our policies, please read our PDS and consider your needs. Call us for a copy or visit mayo.com.au.
Welcome to the Burnout Recovery Podcast, a guiding resource dedicated to healthcare professionals on their journey to overcoming burnout. Spearheaded by Dr. Joe Braid, a certified professional coach and rehabilitation physician.
Hello and welcome back to the Burnout Recovery Podcast. I'm Dr. Joe Braid, your host and a medical doctor with over 20 years of experience in healthcare. If you're joining me today, you're likely a healthcare worker or helping professional who understands the unique pressures we face in our caring roles. This episode drops on the last day of 2025, so wishing you all the best for a happy and healthy 2026. Today's episode is deeply personal. It's about a conversation with my mum that fundamentally changed how I view career success, and more importantly, helped me understand why so many of us in healthcare burn out despite loving what we do. This episode is titled Work as the Means, Not the End, My Mum's Lesson That Saved My Career. As healthcare professionals, we're often taught that our work is our calling, our identity, our everything. But what if that very mindset is what's driving us towards exhaustion? And let me share with you my mum's story because I think you'll recognize something familiar in it. So my mum was a languages teacher. Both my parents were actually doctors of philosophy, not doctors of medicine. And mum is still alive and living in Cambridge. And like many of us in helping professions, mum found deep meaning in her work. Early in her career, she reached what the academic world would consider her peak. She was a university lecturer for 4 years. The prestige, the intellectual stimulation, the recognition, everything we're told represents professional success. Then myself and my brother came along, and here's where her story diverges from what research tells us about healthcare professionals and career progression. A 2019 study in the Journal of Occupational Health Psychology found that healthcare workers who tie their identity primarily to their professional achievements show significantly higher rates of burnout and depression. The researchers called this professional identity fusion, where the boundaries between who we are and what we do become dangerously blurred. My mum, without knowing this research, instinctively avoided this trap. After having kids, she didn't fight to maintain that university position. She adapted. She taught at schools, then taught English as a second language, and now mum still teaches, nearly aged 81, at the University of the Third Age for retirees. When I asked mum about this transition, expecting perhaps some regret, the kind I see in so many healthcare colleagues who feel they've stepped back, her response was revelatory. She said she was really happy with her career journey. Mum said she enjoyed each stage and it contributed to the well-being of the family as a whole. But crucially, she never chased the peak or defined herself by her highest professional achievement. And as I reflected on this, I realized mum had avoided what researchers and what I've talked about before, the arrival fallacy. The belief that reaching a particular professional milestone will provide lasting fulfillment. So this brings me to something I want you to consider. How do we, as healthcare professionals, reframe our relationship with work? In our field, we're often told that work is our calling, it's our mission. And while there is truth in that, we do meaningful work that genuinely helps people. This mindset can become problematic when it means we sacrifice everything else for our professional identity. Research from the Mayo Clinic's program on physician well-being shows that healthcare workers who maintain clear boundaries between their professional and personal identities report 40% lower rates of burnout symptoms. So that's a really significant difference in those who have clear boundaries and those who don't. 40% lower rates of burnout symptoms. And my mum's approach offers us a different framework. She saw her work as serving multiple purposes. She still gets intellectual fulfillment and personal growth, financial contribution to her family's stability, positive impact on her students and her community, and alignment with her life circumstances and her energy levels at different stages of life. And you notice what is absent there? The need to be the best, to reach the top, or to prove her worth through professional achievements. And for us in healthcare, this reframe is particularly powerful. Instead of asking, am I successful enough? We might ask, is my work serving the purposes I need it to serve without depleting my well-being? This doesn't mean lowering our standards of patient care. Never that. It means recognizing that sustainable excellence requires us to view our careers as marathons, not sprints. Sometimes that means choosing the less prestigious position that allows you to sleep at night. Sometimes it means saying no to additional responsibilities when your plate is already full. And I've seen too many brilliant colleagues burn out because they believed their worth was tied to how much they could take on, how many hours they could work, and how indispensable they could become. So this connects to what researchers call the arrival fallacy, and I see this everywhere in healthcare. Ever heard these lines before? Once I finish my specialty training, I'll feel accomplished. Once I become a consultant, I'll have made it. Once I'm recognized as an expert in my field, then I can relax. But here's what the research shows and what I've observed in my own career. Each achievement brings temporary satisfaction, followed quickly by the need for the next goal. We know we get dopamine from not only achieving the goals, but that anticipation of achieving the goal, and then the dopamine crashes pretty quickly after we've achieved that goal, so we're on the hunt for something else also quickly again. A 2020 study in academic medicine found that physicians who base their self-worth on external achievements report higher levels of anxiety and lower job satisfaction even after reaching their stated goals. So my mum, she has avoided this entirely. She never defined success as arriving at a particular destination. Instead, Mum has found fulfillment in the present moment, in the act of teaching, in seeing her students learn, in contributing to her family's well-being. This is why she never experienced the kind of burnout that affects nearly 70% of healthcare workers, according to recent studies. She wasn't waiting to arrive somewhere to feel worthy or successful. She was present and engaged with whatever stage she was in. And for those of you who are listening, who are in recovery from burnout or trying to prevent it, this is your permission to stop chasing the next achievement and start appreciating the meaningful work you're already doing. Research from Stanford's WellMD Center, who I did the Director of Wellbeing course with recently, suggests 3 evidence-based strategies that align with my mum's approach. First, regular purpose reflection. Ask yourself maybe once a month, what purposes do I need my work to serve right now, given my current life circumstances and my energy levels? Secondly, identity diversification. I just recorded a podcast episode recently on, that hobby of tennis that I absolutely love, amongst other things that show that diversity in our identities that we might have. Studies show that healthcare workers with multiple sources of identity, parent, friend, hobby, community member, show greater resilience to work-related stress. And thirdly, present moment appreciation. Research on gratitude practices shows that healthcare workers who regularly acknowledge their current contributions report higher job satisfaction and lower burnout rates. So Mum is an absolutely amazing woman, but she's never saved the world in dramatic fashion. She's never had her name up on some part of Cambridge colleges or won prestigious awards, but she's had a career that served her life rather than a life that served her career. She's maintained her well-being while making a meaningful difference. And for us in healthcare, that might be the most successful approach of all. So here are some action steps if you want to take them this week. First, here's a reflection. Write down 3 purposes your work currently serves beyond professional achievement. Consider your personal growth, your family's well-being, and your contribution to your community. Secondly, identify one area where you might be chasing a rival rather than appreciating your current impact. What would it look like to find fulfillment in where you are right now? And finally, I invite you to share one insight from today's episode with a trusted colleague or friend. Sometimes speaking our realizations out aloud helps them take root. Thanks so much for joining me again today on the Burnout Recovery Podcast. I really appreciate you staying on till the end. And until next time, remember, you are not your job title, and sustainable excellence requires sustainable practices. Take care of yourselves. Your patients need you to be healthy and whole. With best wishes, Jo. Ready to take the next step in your burnout recovery journey? Visit drjobraid.com for free resources, all 150 plus podcast episodes, and information about my keynote speaking. Links are in the show notes. Your well-being matters. Protect the asset that is you. Be your best you. Rely on MEGA for your protection and support, serving doctors for over 125 years through insurance, education, medical legal advice, and member benefits designed to help you thrive and succeed. Insurance issued by Medical Insurance Australia, which has not taken into account your objectives or situation. Before you make any decisions about our policies, please read our PDS and consider your needs. Call us for a copy or visit mega.com.au.